The situation at FC Barcelona is one of the most interesting things that I've ever seen in professional sports. They're an incredibly accomplished organization. They have a rich history and a massive fan base, of course. But Forbes also says that they're the world's most valuable soccer club. Barcelona is reportedly worth $4.76 billion, just slightly ahead of teams like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Liverpool, Man City, and more. And they are also one of the world's most valuable organizations, regardless of sport. The Forbes list of the most valuable sports franchises globally is filled with teams from Major League Baseball, the National Football League, and the National Basketball Association. But if you look at number 8 and number 9, the only two soccer clubs to make it are Barcelona and Real Madrid, as two of the most valuable sports franchises in the world. But here's the interesting part. Barcelona was also $1.5 billion in debt at the end of the 2021 season, and even Deloitte said that they were technically bankrupt. That debt included $443 million of player salaries, $761 million of bank debt, $103 million of pandemic impact, and nearly $50 million in membership losses. So how did Barcelona find themselves in this situation? Well, most of the blame is being placed on former team president Josep Bartomeu. He resigned in 2020 after 20,000 Barcelona supporters called for a vote of no confidence over mismanagement claims. The club had sustained 9 figures in losses due to COVID-19, went trophyless for the first time in over a decade, and even club legend Lionel Messi publicly criticized management. But the main problem was their payroll. When Josep Bartomeu resigned, Barcelona had the highest payroll in all of sports, and it was a total that was actually even higher than their annual income. For example, the club's payroll reached $763 million in 2019-2020 season, and with payroll rising 61% over the previous 5 seasons, it was on pace to reach nearly $950 million if immediate action wasn't taken. Remember, Lionel Messi's contract leaked in the press last year, and it was revealed that he was making more than $150 million annually. And once you add in the fact that Bartomeu has been accused of paying higher than average commission to agents, sometimes near 30%, it all starts to make sense. But Bartomeu left last year, and Joan Laporta decided to return to the club for his second stint as team president. He laid out a detailed 5-year restructuring plan and immediately got to work. The club's payroll was reduced from $763 million in 2019 to $450 million in 2020, and then even further to $215 million for 2021-2022. But while that was helpful financially, it also meant that several of Barcelona's top players were either let go or had to have their contracts restructured. Lionel Messi offered to take a 50% pay cut, but even that wasn't enough, and he eventually left for Paris Saint-Germain in late 2021. And players like Gerard Piqué, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba renegotiated their salaries, and the club cleared space by loaning away other players also. Those moves helped Barcelona reduce its overall debt from nearly $1.5 billion in 2020 to $891 million last year. That's an impressive 40% drop in just 12 months. But that was just the beginning. Now Barcelona has spent the last few months putting their foot on the gas and finding out other ways to generate cash. The club refinanced its debt with a $568 million loan from Goldman Sachs to give themselves breathing space. And they signed a massive sponsorship deal with Spotify that will pay $307 million over 4 years, or nearly $80 million annually. Still, news broke this week that Barcelona might be getting even more aggressive. They have reportedly secured agreements to sell 49% of both their Barca Studios, their production house, and their licensing and merchandising business for a combined $430 million. But here's the interesting part. Goldman Sachs might be coming back for more. According to Spanish publication El Confidencial, Barcelona is about to close a deal with Goldman Sachs and All Sport Finance that will pay the club $1 billion in exchange for 30% of its future broadcasting revenues and a percentage of the future income derived from their new stadium complex. That's obviously massive news, but there's just one caveat. Barcelona reportedly wants to use part of the money to pay down the liabilities on their balance sheet, but they also want to use part of the money to keep top players and pursue other top players. For example, reports are already suggesting that they want to keep Frenkie de Jong and might even try for a transfer of Robert Lewandowski or Lautaro Martinez. So that's the current dilemma that Barcelona has found themselves in. They're attempting to build winning rosters and compete for titles to keep their fans happy, while also simultaneously reducing the $1 billion in debt on their balance sheet. That's not an easy task for anyone, but if anyone's cut out for it, it might be Barcelona. They have one of the most rabid fan bases in the entire world, sports or not sports. But the question to me is bringing on more debt to solve a debt problem the right answer? Only time will tell on that front. It's certainly an interesting strategy, but it's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out over the next several months and several years.